All right. I think we are live here. This is my first time using this, so just a heads up. If something doesn't work, just let me know in the chat. Danny. Danny, what's good, brother?
All right.
How we doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you. My AirPods just won't work tonight.
Dude, the AirPods never work. I swear, they never work.
I hate them.
Tom's going to join in a minute, so I just want to make sure this is live, honestly. Let's check. I sent it. Oh, yeah, it is live. All right, cool. All right, well, we are live. Can I tweet out this link too, I guess?
I believe you can.
Okay, all right. I'm just learning this all for the first time. This is kind of cool, this stuff, so.
It's the best time to do it.
Yeah. Oh, no, not like this. Let's see. I'm trying just to figure this all out. So, how's your day been? How's school going up at Ithaca?
It's been good. It's been interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, I feel that. What happened with the Mets last night?
They just decided to do their normal routine of blowing a lead.
Oh, really? Yeah, because my buddy said he was watching the game and he was like, "Oh my God, they're about to blow it," and I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's the good."
I had to sacrifice either my bracket pool or the Mets had the win, so the Mets took the L last night.
Yeah, how'd your bracket do for the Talking Giants pool? Because I was in it too. I had Alabama winning, so obviously I did not.
I came in second in that one, but in my money bracket, I won that, so we're living large.
Oh, all right, well that's good. Yeah, I didn't like watch any game, like any college basketball this year, so I did like two brackets. One was like decent in the beginning, and then that was it. So, all right, tweeting this out. So, how are you feeling about this draft, Danny? What do you think?
Oh, it's certainly an interesting one. I mean, last year's was so boring because it was so predictable, but now this year, no, I don't know how this one's going to end out. There's so many different ways.
That's the crazy thing, bro. I don't know how this is all going to shape out and stuff like that. So I think, obviously the first pick, everyone knows who it's going to be. But then, I mean, well, now with the Sam Darnold trade, I guess we could start there. I'm pretty sure, Zach Wilson is the designated quarterback for that team right now, the New York Jets. So,
oh yeah, it's 1, 2, 3. Let's pull up the draft order because I don't know who's drafting where. I know the first 3 picks. Other than that, there's just a blank.
I still think it's going to change more too.
Because Atlanta apparently they want to trade out Cincinnati. Maybe they could trade Miami. They're not moving. So 1, 2, 3 is decided. 4, 5, 6 could be up for debate. 7, 8, 9. I can't even tell who Detroit would even go. Oh, Chase probably. So I mean, there's still plenty of weapons that'll be available at 11 if they decide to go.
I saw something today that said that said that the Lions were interested if there was a quarterback of their liking on the board, they wouldn't be afraid to pull the trigger on them. I would have to think Fields. I would have to think Fields.
So you think Trey Lance goes to the Niners, whatever number they're at again, 2?
I think, yeah. So this is my thing. I think at 3, I think the 49ers decide between Justin Fields and Trey Lance. I don't know what this Mac Jones hype is. I don't believe it. How about you?
I haven't watched. I did not care about Alabama enough to watch Mac Jones. I don't get why people think he's like the next big thing. I must miss it. I mean, maybe the NFL like true experts know what they're talking about, but I have like. I just don't get what makes him so special. It doesn't even sound like his well, no, I guess his players liked him more than Tua, which is certainly an interesting
Yeah, I saw that comment. Like it was like what after like the season or something. Like who would you rather play for? And they were like, "Oh, I'd rather play for Mac Jones instead of Tua." And I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, that's kind of insane. I know Mac Jones. They played with him this year, and obviously they won the national championship. But still, it's kind of like you played with Tua too. So yeah.
You rarely hear players talk like that about like They're former teammates.
No, yeah, absolutely. That's the crazy thing about it. I was like, wow, like that's kind of a little shade thrown to his way, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. So here's Tom. Tommy boy.
What up?
Tom.
What's good, my guy?
Everything is good.
Full screen. Okay. Oh,
All right.
Okay.
Oh, that's better. Here we go. I made everyone's picture a little bigger. There we go. Look at that. We got it. How the Yankees doing over there, Tom? I haven't been able to tune into the game yet today. How they doing?
They're up 1-0, and DJ's up with the bases juiced. So just give me a second. You guys can keep talking.
Any outs or no? Oh, see, Danny, I was watching the game last night with my dad, and I was like, oh, I got a feeling here Giancarlo might take this ball deep, and he did. That's the thing about him. It's like hit or miss with him. You know what I'm saying?
You watched your guys hit a 470-foot grand slam, and I decided to walk my team, blow a lead, give me hope, almost take the lead back, but no. That's my life. These are the teams I choose to support.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, it happens. You know, I saw the Knicks last night. I thought they were going to win that game against Brooklyn, and they ended up not winning. So I was kind of a little upset about that because that's a big game for them against Brooklyn. So, and obviously the East is so close right now. Are you a Knicks fan, Danny, or?
I don't care enough about basketball, but I was a Brooklyn fan ever since they moved here.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I remember the dark days.
Yeah, but I remember that team too.
Sorry. He grounded into a double play, which sucks, but a run scored. So
all right, we'll take it.
I guess. Also, this is throwing me off because my camera's like reversed.
Yeah, I know. I'm going like to fix my hair, and I'm like, whoa, like
yeah, and I'm doing it the wrong way. It's throwing me off. That's okay. It's okay.
That's totally fine. So, Tom, I was just talking to Danny before you got here. This draft is going to be insane this year. I feel like it's like more of a surprise of a draft than last year. Obviously, I felt like last year all the picks were kind of known by like the day of draft, like on the morning.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, we have like what, the 5th pick when you really think about it. The first 4 are going to be quarterbacks.
I think so.
I mean, it's just because obviously we know who's going number 1. Now we know what the Jets are going to do with number 2. The Niners are at 3. We know what they're going to do now. Who's at 4?
4 is the Falcons, Atlanta.
The Falcons are probably going to go quarterback too. And then the Bengals are at 5, so they'll probably get the kid Sewell to protect Joe Burrow's knee. So when you think about it, we have like pick 5 is the first pick, which is kind of crazy.
And pick 5's who? That's
Cincinnati.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that. Cincinnati at 5, definitely Penei Sewell. I think 6. Danny, I've been saying this for like a week now, ever since Miami traded back. I think Pitts is the pick at 6 right now.
Pitts.
I don't think it's Jamar Chase. I think he drops one more, maybe to Detroit or maybe even Carolina.
I wasn't even thinking Jamar Chase. I was thinking more Devontae Smith.
Oh,
because it sounds like him and Brian Flores, like that was like the whole thing. They wanted to see how they would get along in the Senior Bowl. It sounded like they liked each other. And it just makes sense, Devontae Smith.
I never thought of that being a possibility, honestly. I guess, I could see that. I could see, Tua and Devontae Smith linking back up together.
Yeah, but like we were saying before, the kind of shade Devontae threw at him, it was like, oh boy.
Yeah, I know. Like if he's gonna throw shade at him, like does he even want to play with them? That's like the crazy thing. But yeah, I really think it's gonna be Pitts. I talked to Tom about this. Tom and I, like at the beginning of the offseason after the Super Bowl, I honestly thought Kyle Pitts would drop a little bit further, but after his combine numbers and everything, I was like, yeah, there's no shot he's dropping now.
There's no shot he was making it to 11, but if he was available, I mean, they just refuse to give up on Evan Ingram, and I respect it. They're gonna ride him until they literally can't anymore, like by his contract running out. But they, for some reason, love him. He survived. he survived Gelman and Shermer, and he's surviving so far Judge and Gettleman. They just don't want to give up on him, and I respect. I mean, they did the same thing with Eric Flowers. They did not give up on him until they had no choice.
Yeah, but those are two completely different cases. Ingram's an athlete.
Yeah.
Flowers couldn't move. Flowers literally was when you draft a guy and they show like the highlight tape and stuff from like the combine and the games and this and that. I think Eric Flowers' like hype draft video was one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life. I think he ran like almost a 6-second 40. His replays were horrible. Like that was just terrible. Ingram, we've seen like he's always the quietest 6 catches for 68 yards guy I think I've seen in a long time. Just because of course he'll drop 2 or 3 passes, and so I mean it's kind of like in the baseball world, it's kind of like a Gary Sanchez. Gary's gonna hit home runs and they're gonna look really nice, but he's not gonna do the little things right, and that's what Ingram does. He'll catch a slant and go for 45 yards, but he's gonna drop the easy passes. Or even they're gonna hit him in the face. So I don't know. I like him. I think he's an athlete, and hopefully Kyle Rudolph can smack him upside the head. And maybe
2019 was like he was gonna be his breakout year, but then he had the foot injury, I believe, against Dallas. That was just gonna be his best season.
Finally healthy this year, but just couldn't catch the ball.
And that's the thing. I also wonder, could it just be him and Jones don't at times have like that? The connection, because I feel like in a way he kind of performed better under Eli, but obviously it was his best year health wise, and that it was just that one drop at Philadelphia that made people like think he's like the worst athlete to ever grace the planet. Which I mean, to be fair, that was one of the worst drops I've ever seen, and yet he makes these insane one-handed catches like they're nothing. So it's just the balance of them just never makes sense with him as a player.
When he dropped that pass, I was like. I think there might have been like 4 or 5 minutes left in the fourth, and I was like, oh boy, I was like, I don't think the Giants are going to win this game right now. And I was sitting with my roommates, like, you're crazy, like they're up right now, like it's fine, like they got the lead, and I was like, no, I was like, this is not good, this is not happening right now. Also, Danny Max Webster said, Danny, my guy, with a thumbs up.
Max Webster, how you doing, my guy?
Yeah, but yeah, back to what I was saying though, Ingram. Maybe breakout year with Rudolph. Rudolph is more of a traditional tight end, so maybe we'll see Rudolph, playing tight end more, and then Ingram spread out wide. But Danny, like you said, man, last year it was tough to watch. It was a tough scene to watch. Some of the plays we saw go down.
I mean, Rudolph just fits what Garrett wants to do better. They hope he's Garrett's Jason Witten in New York, and I really liked Rudolph in Minnesota. And, I mean, I didn't expect them to go out there and sign Rudolph, but when I saw it, I was like, okay, I can get behind this.
And that's a crazy thing about this offseason, too. Like, Danny, you guys see it all the time on Twitter. Everyone's like, they signed Devontae Booker, and everyone's like, where's Kenny Golladay? Like, why is Kenny Golladay not signed? Giants Twitter, they're all in a frenzy when they're all signing these other guys and not Kenny Golladay and the big-name players. But they pulled together a lot of pieces this year, and it's honestly, leading – up to a very exciting draft, in which I think the answer is offensive lineman, but if there's a nice weapon player on the board, I think you can pull the trigger on him, and I don't think anyone would be upset with that. What do you think, Danny?
I'm trying. Offense, I feel like they're kind of set besides the offensive line, because if Ingram sucks this year, they can ride Rudolph for one more year and try and figure out something along there. Wide receiver, I just can't talk. I mean, I know they're great players, but right now I can't talk myself into taking one after Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard. There's one more that I'm forgetting, and I feel like a terrible person. I'm trying to talk. What?
Was it John Ross, you think?
Oh, yeah, John Ross. He's my new Corey Coleman. I will be believing him until I can no more. I'm trying to talk myself into Micah Parsons, but right now it's the character issues that because you hear he's a great person, but then you hear he's also a terrible person. I don't know what to believe. I know his former coach is here, so I mean, I would tend to believe that he has a good experience with him. Right now, I would say it's probably gonna be either offensive lineman or linebacker or Micah Parsons.
I've heard that the character issues about Parsons, and it really doesn't bother me. Anthony right now is saying in the chat, what's up, Anthony? He's saying lineman in all caps. Hopefully we get one of them to follow us, because I've seen a couple mock drafts here and there, guys, where it's like Penei Sewell's off the board, and then the next pick, it's Rashawn Slater off the board as well. So if they're both off the board, I think the Giants are put in a little bit tougher of this situation. They could dive into the second round, get a guard like Wyatt Davis. But I'm just so like excited for it because like Tom was saying earlier, I think the first 4 picks are going to be quarterbacks. I really did.
Yeah, and I mean, just to add my thing. No matter what we do at 11, people are going to be pissed. There's going to be it happens every year, you know. So I'm glad that as I've gotten older now, I kind of expect that and I don't really let it impact me as much. You know, they can really attack offense full on and get one of the top pass catchers. But if they want to be safe, they address basically every hole except offensive line. Besides the guy they got like the last second a couple days ago, that guard they got.
Yeah, Zach Fulton.
Yes, you know, that's another guy that could definitely make an impact. I don't know. There's so many people because I agree. I'd like offensive line, but I don't want to reach for anybody. You know what I mean? Like I know the kid Slater is good, but like let's say Q keeps putting it in my brain, and so now it's kind of stuck on it. I really think the Cowboys are going to screw us at 10. Some way, somehow, they're pissed because they fans think that since Dak is back, they're automatically really good. They were that stupid Falcons comeback away from being 0-4. That's what a lot of people like forget about. But anyway, besides the point, you know. So like, let's say they get Slater at 10. I don't want to reach for somebody at 11 just to get him. Like Danny said, that kid Parsons looks stupid. Like talk about an October-ish updated Madden card for Ultimate Team. Oh my God. The guy's quick. That entire school apparently runs like sub 4.5 40s, which was unreal to watch. I'd be happy. There's so many people I'd be happy with. It's kind of like last year. Obviously, last year we wanted the tackle, but there were so many tackles we could have gotten that really any of them I really wouldn't have cared about. And then we, of course, got Andrew Thomas. So it's kind of the same thing this year. Like I wouldn't mind Parsons. I wouldn't mind. My number one pick is the kid Rousseau from Miami because that's just a raw physical freak. And you know we see what Patrick Graham can do with more of system guys.
Yeah, Anthony actually said, or give Patrick Graham an edge rusher. So, Danny, I didn't get to watch a lot of Rousseau. I know he didn't play a lot this year. Tom, you know more on Rousseau than I do. Like, I know he has that crazy burst in the athleticism, but, like, is he really going to be that guy? Because there's other edge rushers, too, like Quiddy Payne out of Michigan. So, what do you guys think? Like, if they go edge rusher, I feel like that would be a reaction where fans wouldn't be the happiest about an edge rusher. I know, like, it's, like, one of the team's, like, top needs guys, but I just feel like there's other players on the board where they could really go and, you know, it would make the fan base very happy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go first, Dan, then I'll throw it over to you. I mean, when was the last time the Giants drafted just, you know, a pure, just raw talent type of edge rusher that will get to the quarterback every time? It was probably JPP. You know what I mean? So like just not I don't know who that is. Like am I making sense? Like when was the last time they got a guy like that? And it's been a long time. You know, they can getting like big guys like Dexy and, you know, Leonard and stuff like that and BJ Hill. Those are linemen, but they're not like, they don't have the edge kind of thing that you want in a guy like Rousseau, who is again just so much upside that I think at the 11th pick, it's a safe pick. I know he didn't play last year, but a lot of guys opted out. That's what makes this draft so interesting because so many players opted out and didn't play last year. You know, the last time Jamar Chase played football, Joe Burrow was his quarterback. So it's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? There's again, I'm going to say it a million times, but Danny, I'll throw it over to you. Rousseau's good. He's raw. He's got so much upside. I'd love to see them take a guy like that and just see, because now we actually have a defensive coordinator that can build him and mold him into something that the defense needs, and that'll be awesome to see. What do you think, Danny?
I mean, I see Matthew put I've Quiddy, the guy out of Michigan. I don't know anything about him. I know he's decent. I butchered that name probably, but I knew Rousseau. I feel like he'd probably be the one player that would honestly draw so much criticism. And no one cares about a fan's opinion. Like our opinions means jack squat
right to
anyone. But I feel like that would be the one that caused the most like complaints. They'll be like, because I seen some people saying this guy could be around in round 4. I mean, that's just outrageous to me. But I think honestly, you can get some solid players in the later rounds, like Ronnie Perkins out of Oklahoma, and then there's this guy out of Penn State, Shaka Tooney. And then you got the other Jalen Phillips out of Miami, Rashad Weaver. So there's so many talented edge. Honestly, edge is a position that they can go later on in the draft and feel confident about that they still have a solid guy if they want to address the guard. Because Shane Lemieux, great guy. I don't think he's going to be a long-term answer. Will Hernandez, they just for some reason gave up on him. I don't know why. That's something we need to. Why did they not like Will Hernandez this year? I get he had
Ever
COVID.
since he got COVID, bro. It was literally Will Hernandez went down with COVID. Shane Lemieux comes in, has a decent game against the Bucks. I know he got beat up a little bit, like in the pass game. That was his biggest problem all year, protecting Daniel Jones when he dropped back to throw the ball. But I was just reading Anthony's thing right here. Our Baltimore game proved we can't scheme pass rush and need an elite guy off the edge like Rousseau. But yeah, I agree with that. Rousseau, I think it would be a nice pick. I also like the other kid from Miami. I think Jalen Phillips. I think his first name's Jalen and his last name's Phillips. I liked him too. I saw his pro day too, but I don't know if that's a guy like that you can take right off the bat at 11 either.
No, none of those guys are 11 worthy. They could be second round worthy, third round worthy, second round, first round. No, I mean, I guess the first edge rusher off the board would probably be the Michigan guy, if anything. The Giant, because I mean, I don't know what Michigan's pro day was like, if they've even had it yet, or if any Giants went. I hate Marcus Stroman, but other than that, I feel like edge you could take later on in the draft and feel satisfied with, and then the first round you can address the linebacker position or the offensive line. I feel like they just need to give Patrick Graham a few more weapons because Blake Martinez isn't going to be here forever. Corner, I mean, you don't need a corner right now unless you want to get a Dory Jackson replacement this year. And someone like, I don't know who, Surtain, Farley, those guys are still there. But I think defense right now has to be the pick. They have a solid base, but like Lorenzo Carter, O'Shea.
Right, yes. So those guys, because like whenever I think about who they have, I'm like, yeah, but they have those guys. Those are great depth guys, but obviously they haven't proven to us yet. Again, anything can change in the NFL, but they definitely haven't showed us yet that they are like those guys. And honestly, we're at a point where all of a sudden we have a really, really good defense. So I think this is a prime opportunity to just, like you were just saying, keep feeding it, keep flooding the defensive side of the ball with just talent. Obviously, we've seen pretty much all across the NFL. Offensive talent comes out of nowhere. We see wide receivers making crazy big names for themselves. Obviously, running back is definitely the most replaceable position in the NFL, even though we have JQ's boy. But and obviously, quarterback's quarterback. But defense, it's hard to find those. It's hard to find those gems, and we low key found a few already. Literally, we had Mr. Irrelevant, and he won us the game that one time, and he was on the field late in games. I'm happy because I like my team having a good defense. You can love the Chiefs all you want, but like their Chiefs fans definitely get stressed out a lot. It's not good for their health because they'll be down in the game a lot, or like it'll be too much of a close game, and then of course Mahomes comes back and Mahomes makes his comeback, win the game. I just rambled on for a long time. That made no sense. I'm sorry. What I was trying to say was, like, I think I said it earlier. We have a good defense. So but like that doesn't mean it was like my take from back in October. The Cowboys had a good offensive line, but they didn't say, all right, now we're good. They kept drafting offensive linemen. Let's keep, like you said, we don't need a cornerback right now, but in the mid rounds, if there's a young stud there that are all of a sudden all former college staff on defense likes, get them. You know what I mean? Just keep feeding it with depth and talent, and that's really going to be the way we win games for years to come, and not just kind of die off after a year or two.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm kind of giggling because I'm reading some of the comments coming in from our buddies Matt Besser and Ryan Clemens. So we'll start with Besser because I've had it on a screen for a second. It says trade pick to the Pats. So Danny, our friend Matt, he goes to school with us at Quinnipiac. He's a big Pats fan. He's from Rhode Island. Do you see the Giants trading this pick at all? Because I don't see Gettleman moving from the spot.
He doesn't know how to.
Gettleman moving at all.
He doesn't know how to trade back. It's not programmed in his laptop that he uses undrafted. He doesn't know how. But honestly, I don't. The only drafting back is so risky because it can be like, when the 49ers did for Mitch Trubisky, where obviously it worked out great and they got all those picks. And then there's sometimes when teams trade back and you're like, we really didn't get as much as we would like. And also, Besser, no. Patriots you're good. You're good. You guys just spent $1 gazillion on all those free agents, and you're still going to stink anyway. But no, we're not trading you the pick. We're not trading back. Stay at 11. I'm happy. I'm ready to go. Also, you see what Clemens said?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up in a second. Danny, what do you think though? They move in at 11 or what?
The day Dave Gettleman trades back is the day Tupac randomly appears back in the United States. That's honest. That's my mindset. Like he'll trade in the first round. He's traded back before. He's probably. I feel like I remember him trading, but the first round now he'll trade up in the first round and get a criminal. Oh no, he's exonerated. I forgot. My bad, DeAndre.
Oh god, that situation too was kind of insane. Like no one expected that to happen, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, Danny was like, it was a calm March day. That was literally right before I think the pandemic really like kicked in the gear. And I look on my phone one day and it was like, oh, DeAndre Baker has been arrested, and it's just like, oh, like this is awesome.
I stared at my jersey that I spent $100 on for him. And I do all the first rounders and. Classified as
that kind of threw us off because I think I saw it on Twitter. They went into the draft last year assuming that obviously Baker was going to be their cornerback too, so they didn't really feel the need to address it as much. I know they got Darnay Holmes, but like now that that's out of the way, and obviously they addressed free agency the way they did, it's nice that for once we don't have something stupid happening like before the team even reports to camp. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's still plenty of time.
I know. I just jinxed it.
We still have a couple weeks until the draft really,
Definitely just jinxed it. Someone's getting in a fight tonight at a bar somewhere.
Oh, God.
Who would it be?
Clemens said, so, ... What are the Giants' plans for addressing the O-line situation? Need to see Saquon healthy. Yeah, Clemens and I talk about this a lot. Clemens, I would really like them to dive in at the 11th overall pick and pick an offensive lineman. Do I think they will? If a guy like Jalen Waddle's on the board staring them in the face? Maybe. I don't know. It's just like if you add Jalen Waddle to that offense, it could be so explosive. But if there's no one to protect Daniel Jones and a guy like Will Hernandez doesn't pan out this year and Shane Lemieux doesn't play well, it's just going to be a problem. And also with Matt Parrott at right tackle, they might take a risk on him. I don't know what they're going to do, but I would really like them to see them address it in the draft. This is the time to do it. Get these young hog mollies in here. They're hungry. They're excited. And they're ready to pancake people. That's what I think. So if there's a guy like Slater on the board, or even Penei Sewell, if Penei Sewell drops to 11, it would be bananas. But Tom, we talked about this when we went upstate that one week into your house. Danny, this is when the Giants were 1-7 at this point of the season last year. And I was like to Tom and his cousin, I was like, listen, like if the Giants continue to lose, you could see Penei Sewell on the board. Giants can be picking at like 2 or 3 in this draft. And the Giants could have another, future tackle for years to come. I don't know if Sewell drops. So I've only seen him play left tackle. I've never seen him play anything else. So does that mean Andrew Thomas gets the boot to the right side to right tackle? Because at Georgia, he did start off at right tackle at Georgia. So I don't know what they would do, Clements, but my biggest thing is offensive line right now. I guess a second need for me really is the edge. I think they have plenty of weapons on offense. And yeah, I need to see Saquon Barkley healthy this year. I'm super excited for his return. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
John Mara's wallet needs to see him healthy because they're not paying him if he's even like a quarter of the man he once was. Because at that point, he's not worth it. You could just move on. Also, this completely unnecessary. I just want Wayne Gallman back. No one's signing him. Bring him back 1-year deal. That's just what I want. Yeah. That's just a man dreaming. But no, and I don't want to move Andrew Thomas to the left tackle because we had that debate with that one guy on Twitter that left for, I don't know why he left again, but he was saying like Andrew Thomas needs to start at right tackle, and he sucked at left tackle to start, but then he got better. And now this year you got, hear me out, you got Nate Solder. Some of his best years came at right tackle in New England, but Daniel Jones and Tom Brady are two totally different human beings. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you got a solid Nate Solder. I mean, depending on the shape, we don't know what type of shape he's in. He could be the fattest man to walk the earth, or he could be like the 2018, 2019 shape that he was. And I feel like people forget 2018, then that's Eli. So the only issue is how bad is Nate Solder right now? How bad is Matt Pert even a little bit better than to get their starting jobs? One of those two are going to be started. I'm hoping they're both better than Cam Fleming. It's the guard position that right now needs to be addressed. Because we got to get an answer on Daniel Jones, and giving him a quality offensive line gives you your best shot at answering him. Because if he's not good this year, the window's closed. You got to move on.
Oh, it's so tough to hear you say that because, like, I love Daniel Jones. Obviously, when they drafted him, I wasn't the biggest fan of it at 6. I think we've talked about this before on an episode. But yeah, like you said, Danny, they need to protect him. They need to really see what talent and skill set he really has. But are we going to get to see it if they draft a guy like Waddle? Like, that's the concern. If you draft Jalen Waddle or one of those receivers or one of those weapons off the board at 11, you got to be able to protect Daniel Jones, and you're relying on those guys last year who really couldn't get it done. They allowed him to get sacked 45 freaking times. So it wasn't fun last year watching him on his back every time. I talked about it on one of my recent episodes. I said, yeah, Daniel Jones got sacked 3 plays in a row against Baltimore, and I was like, that was the worst drive I've probably ever watched, ever. But, Danny, back to your point, is Matt Parrott going to be the starter at right tackle? I don't know. Like, is it going to be Parrott or is it going to be Solder? Is it they're going to switch off every drive? Like, they got to build some type of chemistry. And, I mean, is Lemieux the starter at right guard? Like, there's so many unanswered questions that we're, like, us fans are just going to have to wait on, honestly, until training camp and OTAs come around this summer.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of got distracted. I just saw Eli Manning juggling. He can now juggle. And this man is a dude of many talents.
What he put it on? He tweeted it out on Twitter.
Yeah, get this man off Twitter. He's no, but flood the defensive side with ball. Yeah, that's the thing though, because I feel like they put so much resource. What? So 2017 first round pick was offense. 2018 was offense. 2019 was offense. 2020 was offense, so they've just been flooded the draft with first-round talent, offensive weapons. You got to get the defense some love. And, I mean, yeah, you got some quality guys, but, like, edge, you can go there. Because Blake Martinez isn't going to be around. Blake Martinez isn't going to be around forever. Quality player, but he's not going to be around forever. And added someone like Micah Parsons next to him, that could be just a deadly duo.
My comparison, NFL comparison for Micah Parsons is like a Devin White type linebacker, quick, speedy guy, just pursues the ball. Whoever has the ball, he's flying after them, can chase the quarterback. I saw him a couple clips of him blitz off the edge. Obviously, he's not gonna, fix the role of an edge rusher, guys, but he's pretty damn good, that kid, and he's really scary looking. I'm not gonna lie.
I want Devin White so bad. That was my dream at whatever draft he was. Was he 19 or 18?
That was 2019. That was 2019. I
want him so bad.
He was picked 4. No, he was picked 5, and then Daniel Jones was 6.
I loved Devin White so much. And then when he was taken, I was like, fine. And then when Daniel, I don't know, because then what? Josh Allen went like before Daniel, or like a pick after him, or something like that.
I think he went literally the pick right after Josh Allen, the Jaguars.
The one thing that draft was obviously talented with defensive players, and the Giants took a quarterback because I think they more or less felt like they had to. But I mean, right now, clearly it was better for them to take the quarterback when they did, because Josh Rosen, is he on the 49ers practice squad now? I think that's where he is. Sam Darnold, he was just given a terrible situation. We'll figure out this year if he's halfway decent. And I hate those people that keep bringing up that draft. Like, who was it? It was Jordan Ronan. I know he's on the podcast. He seems like he's come around on the fans a little, but I remember he tweeted out something like that. This is why the Giants should have taken like whoever it was. And I was like, dude, like, really? Oh, it was Josh Allen. It was like, who thought Josh Allen would be like the number 1 passer in the NFL last year? But that's besides the point. They need to give Patrick Graham, he has the weapons, but at least give him some first-round talent to also work with.
No, I think that's true because, like you said, Danny, the past couple of years, the team has been focusing so much on the offensive side of the ball that I think it's about time you give Patrick Graham a nice, like, new shiny toy. But it's just like the O-line. I was talking about this the other day, and I made a clip about it for, like, whatever, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. It's just like the offensive line scares me to, like, it doesn't, like, scare me, but, like, it scares me to the point where, like, I'm nervous that Daniel Jones won't be able to grow next year with Golladay because they just can't protect him, and Golladay doesn't have time to separate and get deep downfield. And then with Saquon coming back, they're not going to be able to stack the box, all these defenses all the time. That's the one thing I'm really looking forward to. But if you can't run block for more than, like, I don't know, I'm going to say like a random number, like 2 seconds, 1 second, he's just going to get smothered in the backfield like he did against the Steelers. I don't know if Clements is still here, but Ryan's a Steelers fan, just in case anyone's wondering. So
it's this offense. It depends if how much Saquon has lost from his ACL injury, if anything. I don't know. I feel like they're probably going to go offensive line at 11 because they probably don't feel confident with what they got right now at either guard, and you rather have confident in one position and not just right guard's going to look right bad. I don't know. Because I don't know. I'm saying give Will Hernandez another shot. Put Hernandez and then Slater at right guard. I don't know. I think that's solid.
So you're saying Andrew Thomas left tackle, Will Hernandez left guard, Nick Gates center, Rashawn Slater at right guard, and then a mix of Parrott and Nate Solder at right tackle.
Yeah, that rotating door clearly gave some confusion last year to teams, and it worked at times. And felt like Perk looked halfway decent. So
yeah, he had like some decent stuff. What were you gonna say, Tom? I see you reacting over there.
I want to touch on what Clemens just commented on.
Which one?
The one you just pinned to the thing. I want to ask you both the question. If the draft begins how we think it's going to begin, the first 4 are quarterback, and let's say the Bengals listen to Joe Burrow, because I'm sure he said this numerous times. Let's say they listen to him and they wind up getting Jamar Chase, and it's pick 6. Let's say the Dolphins get Devontae Smith, like Danny was talking about before. You're at pick 7. I would trade whatever I would have to trade to jump up to 7 and get Sewell. Ooh. At that point.
What are they?
What?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, what do you think the Giants would give up, though? Because obviously, years past, they've never been in the situation where they can give up any draft picks. I don't think they're going to give up like a player or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know usually trades that happen on draft night, I usually feel like revolve around other draft picks. You know what I'm saying?
So who's at 7? Detroit?
Detroit, yeah.
I would give them, obviously, the 11th pick. And then, honestly, at this point in my life, anything within reasonable asking, I would open my ears to. Because if you get – listen, we'd be at a point where – Bengals not going to draft Chase. Well, yeah, obviously. I'm getting into hypotheticals, Clements. You asked any realistic chance of trading up. That's the only chance they have of trading up if Sewell drops that far. Gettleman only knows how to trade up later on. Like that this early, he doesn't know how to trade up at all. Which honestly, it's fine. You don't want to see him splurging picks. But back to my main train of thought. To get a guy like Sewell, we would be doing what the Jets never did for Donald. Don't think I don't see his comments. I see his comments. I'm reading.
I wasn't sure because I don't know. I'm just learning how StreamYard works for the first time.
Yeah, no, I picked up on it. If you're in full screen, you don't get to see him unless you guys pin him. So I'm out of full screen. I see him. I see him over there.
Okay.
No, because so like if you get a guy like Sewell, you're giving the chance. You're giving Daniel Jones what the Jets never gave Sam Darnold. We just got him. Offensive weapons, a stable now that is young and is athletic. And then if you get a guy like Sewell, you give him 2 rock-solid tackles plus all the other depth they have on the offensive line. The Jets never gave Donald that. And I've been talking to my cousins who are Jet fans, for the past couple of days ever since this Donald thing happened. This just shows the Jets have zero direction. You bring in a guy like Darnold to an absolute dumpster fire of an organization – and you expect them to win games. And that's so I'm not gonna make this about the Jets because this isn't a Jets live stream, but I'm gonna tie it right back to the Giants. We're doing what we need to do to let Daniel prove himself. You know what I mean? We're giving him the tools he needs, and we're gonna try and better up the offensive line to help him prove himself even more. And at the end of the day, which Danny mentioned it minutes ago now, I wanted to jump in, but I didn't want to be rude. It was minutes ago now, probably like 10 minutes ago. If Daniel doesn't have a bananas year, but he has a better year, you have to ride him again next year. You cannot, if you ditch him going into year 4, you're doing the same thing that the Jets just did with Darnold. You only gave him 1 year with Golladay. You gave him basically only, we don't know how healthy Saquon's going to be.
Healthy, 150.
Right. So, like, And this is because I'm actually writing an article about this tomorrow for my internship. This is the first time he's going into a training camp with the same offense from the season prior. And I know everyone loves to bash on our boy Jason Garrett for probably the
Carl routes.
The safest offense in the history of football. But he's going in with something he already knows. He didn't have to learn a whole new system and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm going all over the place. But
let me answer Clements' thing. I pulled up the Giants draft picks real quick, and then Danny, you can hop in because you are the guest, so I want you to talk a lot. Giants official draft picks: round 1, number 11; round 2, 42; round 3, 76; round number 4, 116. No pick in the 5th round, sent to the Jets for Leonard Williams. Round 6, they have a 196 pick, and then 201, and then nothing in the 7th. So, Tom, would you see like the Giants trading any of those picks to go up for Sewell? Because I don't want to get rid of that 2nd round pick. The 3rd round pick, like maybe I'd get rid of it, but
I would give up the 3rd round pick because at the end of the day, if you got Sewell at 7 or like whatever pick it was you trade up for, offensive line is done. Like you don't have again, it would be nice to get another lineman, but like this is such a deep draft for almost a lot of the positions. You know what I mean? So getting a guy like Sewell, it's you can get away without addressing the line the rest of the draft, and then you can just plug. There's so much raw talent in this draft because, again, a lot of these guys didn't play last year. So, they're kind of banking on, obviously, 2019's numbers, but also just their athleticism as a whole. So, and it's interesting to me because, again, this is the first time we've had obviously a pandemic impact the season. Like, Jamar Chase's stock is so high. And obviously
hasn't played in like 20 months though. So
that's what I mean. Like, rightfully so. He is a phenomenal talent. We saw what he did with Burrow on that LSU team. But like you just said, by the time preseason comes around, it's going to be almost like a year and a half. Like you said, 20 months since he's played a full on contact game. Yeah. So it's awesome to me because I'm not going to bash on them because obviously I know they're all good talents, but it's interesting to me to see these kids' stocks so high when a lot of them didn't play. Like, did Parsons play last year or did he opt out too?
No, he opted out.
So, that's crazy. I mean, obviously he made up for it with the 2-3-40 time that he ran, but
yeah,
it's a really interesting draft. But to answer your question, I would give up again, I want that 2nd round pick because in all the mocks I'm doing, that kid Leatherwood from Alabama,
big boy.
He keeps popping up there. I know that'd be another tackle thrown to the mix, but what is my whole Dallas Cowboys thing? Just keep drafting them, and then you're gonna find a piece that works. Because, like you said, it's not like we have a 5 where we're like, all right, I mean, we're good. Like Danny named 2 or 3 combinations before. You named a couple before. Just keep drafting them and mold them until we get a piece that works, and then that's ultimately dude. That's what the Saints were doing. Remember the Saints were quietly drafting just offensive linemen, and then 2 years ago we realized they have the best offensive line in football. It was crazy.
Danny, what do you think? Any realistic shot they trade up?
Trade up. I just can't see it. I mean, unless Joe Judge brings a different philosophy, I don't see them trading up. I mean, this will technically be – this is our first time picking in double digits in 3 years or something like that.
Yeah,
probably Eli Apple at 10, probably.
Oh, lovely. That was
good pick. Great pick. It
was a great pick. I love that. No, but I just can't see them trading up. The Giants, I feel, are too. They're still too laid back. They're still they're still one of those old organizations that don't take major risks. Yes, I know they're trying to get up to the new age, but I just don't see them trading back because they got talented players at 11, and this is the worst year for them to attempt to trade up because they have no picks, basically nothing. They have what? They have the 2, the 3, a 4, 2 6s, and then that's their draft unless they make a trade for the 7th. But this is the worst year for them to attempt to trade up, and I think who are your untouchables?
We only have 3 on offense.
Yeah.
Saquon's untouchable. I'll fight anyone that tries to tell me otherwise.
Saquon, Galladay, and Daniel Jones. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Before I say Daniel Jones, obviously, if you offer me a Pro Bowl quarterback right now, I'd think about doing it. But in terms of because what the Giants are building, they're not going to trade their quarterback, they're not going to trade their superstar running back, and they're not going to trade the wide receiver they just got. Everybody else would be on the table.
Yeah, I don't want him. He's way too Shepard, Sterling.
I agree too. I'm just thinking like if I had to
Yeah.
name three, like those are my first three. But yeah, he provide like it's just a lot of things Giants fans don't like. No, not Giants. A lot of things non-Giants fans don't get is like the role these guys play. Towards like a locker room because a lot of teams just kind of get lucky and win with like a crazy locker room. Again, we saw how many personalities the Bucks just brought in, but you have Brady who's keeping all their heads on straight. That's why they won the Super Bowl. But for obviously the Giants and a lot of other teams don't get that lucky. So there's a lot of guys that wouldn't be necessarily untouchable, but they definitely have more of an impact off the field than they do on, which is a very interesting thing when you think about it.
Yeah.
No, I was to finish that. I just the Giants trading up. That's just
it's not gonna happen.
It's tough. And they're just
it's fun to dream a little bit.
Yeah, but like they're in such a good spot that like you never know. Like if it's the 4 quarterbacks and then it's all the weapons, you might have Penei Sewell. Like you said, Tom, if Joe Burrow convinces the Bengals organization to draft Jamar Chase, his buddy, but then he'll have no offensive line to play with, then
don't get a guy to protect my bad knee, but get my friend from school.
And then Clement said, what about Andrew Thomas? He's touchable. Well, I mean, he's on a rookie deal still, so I don't think that they'd be moving him like anytime soon.
That's an interesting idea to think about. The Bengals take.
Clemens, that's not bad, bro.
No, not trading Andrew Thomas. Just when you said the Bengals, if I'm the Giants, I am calling them after they make the pick, but I'm calling them and I'm offering Will Hernandez to them. If let's say they take Jamar Chase. Clearly something's not right for Will Hernandez. I'll be like, we'll give you Will Hernandez. What can you give us in return for that? Something long.
Maybe like a later round pick or something, like a second round pick or actually he was a second round pick. I'd say like maybe like a late third, maybe fourth round pick. I don't know. I'm just taking like a guess. Maybe,
I think Clemens just has the Giants roster like on his phone and he's like doing a random scroll, clicking on the guy's name and he's just going to wind up. Yeah, like
well, I appreciate them asking questions though.
Absolutely.
We have a couple other people in here. So if you guys want to ask questions about the season, the schedule, 17 games now. The Giants officially their 17th game is against the Dolphins. They're going to beat them anyway. They're going 12-5. Giants are going 12-5.
Here we go again.
No. Last.
That just doesn't sound normal to me. 12-5. That's just a disgusting number. Just give me back my 12-4.
Ryan's saying just draft Deontay Brown. He's all you need for an O-line. He's Danny, I think you know him. He's the big guy from Alabama, one of their guards. You might have saw the picture surface on Twitter. He's just mad. He's like 300.
I hope Dave Gellman never sees him. If Dave Gellman sees him, it's over for us. That guy.
He hasn't given up a sack his entire life.
Yeah, Dave but on that offensive line, it's just like no one's going to try to get by him. Oh God, Besser said this. 17 games is great for the Cowboys to go 8-9. I swear.
I agree.
I think the Cowboys are going 500. Like I think they're they can't go exactly 500, 8-8 anymore, which stinks. But I think they have a shot to have a losing record this year.
My bad. I said it earlier on. I don't know if Besser and Clements and these guys were in here, but obviously don't forget about Cowboys fans because they think they're winning the Super Bowl every single year. But the Cowboys they had that miraculous comeback against the Falcons, but that's basically just the Falcons being the Falcons. If that doesn't happen, they're 0-4. And then we played them, and then Dak got hurt. You know what I mean?
Andy Dalton goes 8 for 9 on it, and then they kick a game-winning field goal. I see Danny's reaction right there. That was Tom. We were watching that game together. You're over at my house for that game. One of the most passionate games I've ever watched in my life. That was an awesome game to watch because it started off Fackrell interception. It was nuts.
How did that man, ice cold off the bench, come in there and just lay dimes? How did that happen?
Yeah, I know. That's before the defense really had a full identity, like for that season. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it was still early. It was like week 5, week 6.
And then, again, just back to the Cowboys real quick. So that happens. Dak gets hurt, obviously. So that's their main excuse. But remember the defensive players were saying our coaches just don't know what they're doing. What does that mean? And also Zeke can't show up 35 pounds overweight. It definitely wasn't 35, but he looked very out of shape.
He's like James Harden. He's like a James Harden. Shows up, looks fat.
He just showed up so out of shape. It was scary. It was scary. So I and And with this early in the offseason, I just basically look at which teams are more stable. Like who has a stable coaching staff, who has an actual like identity, who knows what they're doing. It's really only us in Washington because Washington has Ron Rivera as their head coach. Like they know what they're doing. They have a defense, and obviously they're going to figure out the quarterback situation. But they have Ryan Fitzpatrick, so they'll probably go 4-0 to start the year because he's the most 4-0 guy to start a year in the history of ever for quarterback. And
do you really think
Philly,
do you really think they're going to be that good with Fitzmagic?
I mean,
my pick to the division.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you have that defense and you have a quarterback that can actually just throw the ball, something that Dwayne Haskins couldn't do, and you have a coach like Ron Rivera, you're going to win games, especially in this division. And Philly's, I don't know, Philly's done. I don't know what they're doing. Their coach, I don't know. I don't even know. Can the Giants win the division? What's your ceiling for this team? They can win the division easily. It's as wide open as it's been probably for most of our childhood, this division.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I feel like other years there's been like a supposed favorite, but a team will somehow come within a game or like even win sometimes. But this year there is no clear favorite. I'm sure the Vegas odds are probably all within like 100 of each other to win. The ceiling
12-5.
Well, no, I guess a reasonable ceiling would maybe win a playoff game, but like a floor. What are the records now?
I think the floor. I actually think their floor is 12-5. Actually, my bad.
So you're out of your mind. But like I mean, when you think of a floor, like a bar to set, obviously making the playoffs, but like a record, I think they go. I think I'm gonna shoot for 9-8, go above 500 for the first time in a while. I don't even count 2016. That year was annoying.
Clements is saying 10-7 ceiling. Would that make the playoffs though? That's the thing. Is 10
that would win the division.
Our schedule. I do like the Giants' schedule a lot this year.
We have to go into Arrowhead.
I don't guess what? Who cares?
I do. God. Spags is going to eat us alive.
Oh God!
He's going to be like you didn't. He's like you didn't give me the head coach job over Shermer. You're done.
Yeah. I just want to answer something for Besser real quick. He said he fixed it. He said later round picks in his next thing. Besser, something I like a lot of interior offensive linemen like Elijah Vera Tucker. I think he's going to go first round though. Landon Dickerson, he might go first round. Wyatt Davis. I'm looking at a bunch of these like interior offensive linemen. And then, possibly like an offensive tackle like Jalen Mayfield I'm looking at too. But I don't know, man. Alex Leatherwood, like I said before, it all comes down to what guys drop in the first round. Because, wait, I want to look. Hang on. I want to pull this back up. I'm gonna read you the first 10 picks in the draft right now. This is what it's going to be. So everyone here that's listening, the 4 or 5 of you here in this live stream, I appreciate you being here. I'm going to read off right now. Every single pick, and I'm going to be right. Okay. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, whatever. Jets, Zach Wilson. San Francisco, Justin Fields. Atlanta, Trey Lance. He'll sit a year or two behind Matt Ryan. Cincinnati, Penei Sewell. Miami's going Kyle Pitts. Oh, this is where it gets tough. Detroit, I'm going to say Detroit goes with Devontae Smith. Carolina goes with Mac Jones. 9, it's one of the corners.
Mac Jones?
Yeah, he's getting all that hype. Just let
Mac Jones just screams Detroit. I can't think of a better poster child for Detroit than Mac Jones.
You think the Panthers are going to get Mac Jones when they just traded for Darnold and they still have Teddy Bridgewater?
I forgot.
What are we doing?
Okay, so we'll reverse 2 picks. Danny said we're going back to Detroit. That's where Mac Jones is going. Maybe Carolina, they could trade back. They can do whatever they want, draft a skill guy. Dallas, I think they're drafting a corner unless they screw us and take Slater. And I think that leaves the Giants with a lot of options. I already said Pitts, though. Dang, I really want him, though, but he's just not going to be there.
I don't think there's anyone we could take that I'm going to be mad at.
I think it's crazy how the NFC East has 3 teams picking 10, 11, 12. So it's like the Cowboys could leave a player for the Giants, and then the Giants could end up leaving a player for the Eagles to pick. Like, that's the thing. If all these weapons are on the board, like, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be kind of insane.
Imagine if the Eagles got Justin Jefferson last year like they should have.
Well, I still think Fulgham, Travis Fulgham, they drafted last year.
No, it was the other guy. Some non-existent. He done nothing. I mean, we could
Rager.
Oh, Jalen Rager. Yeah, Rager.
We could realistically leave them Jalen Waddle.
I know that's what scares me.
I don't want to though. That's the thing. Like, here's my thing. If he's on the board, Rashawn Slater's gone, Penei Sewell's gone. I don't think they're going to trade back. And I see people on Twitter, Danny, all the time, and Tom, they want to trade back if these guys aren't there. But you know what? Like, if you have a chance to draft him right there, draft him, and you pray in the second round you're finding your future interior offensive lineman or another piece at tackle at either of the tackles. I think Andrew Thomas is set in stone, the left tackle of the future. Obviously if he stays healthy and all, but Jalen Waddle, man, I see that guy out there burn secondaries. He's got a second and third gear. There's just if you give Daniel Jones time to get the ball downfield, that could be a nice little connection there.
Yeah, I think it's realistic. I think the Eagles are thinking of the mindset that the Giants are not going to take Waddle, and they can make up for the mistake they did last year. And or what quarterbacks would still be on the board at that point?
Well, if I was the one if we went with my draft and it's right, which it's probably gonna be because I'm Mel Kiper over here. I think they'd be all off the board because it'd be the 4, and then Mac Jones would go at like 7 or 8. So all five of those key guys would be gone.
I don't think they would have traded back if they planned on going quarterback.
That's what I thought too. Like if they were really, I heard they wanted to trade up to 3 with hopes of Zach Wilson being there.
Oh yeah, that was a rumor.
I saw that through Adam Schefter. He said something about that. So I was like, oh wow.
The Eagles they don't know what the hell they're doing.
But listen, they're kind of like the Cubs from 2016. They won that Super Bowl. So now fans, but also Philly fans are crazy. But they won the Super Bowl, so they have time. But they're a dumpster fire. Their coach is a mess. Everything's a mess. They're a mess.
Yeah, they are. But listen, they might get some nice draft capital next year if Wentz plays like 80% of the snaps next year and they end up making the playoffs in Indianapolis. So what do you guys think? Who's going to have a better season on the new team? Darnold with Carolina or Wentz in Indianapolis? Like, who do you think is a better system right now?
Wentz by him. Wentz is going to be really good. That's a
good hit. Viewers, you guys can answer. Who do you guys think?
I'll say Wentz, but Darnold will easily have his best. I think this will be Darnold's best year to date.
Darnold is going to make the few Jet fans that actually rooted for him sick this year because now he's going to be gone. He actually has talented people to throw to, and obviously they have Christian McCaffrey, probably the most dynamic running back we've seen the last couple of years. But like Wentz, he has the best offensive line in football. They have a really good defense. The wide receivers they drafted last year, I remember they drafted like 3 with like their first 4 picks or something. It was crazy. They just have young talent on the offense. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor is a beast at running back. Even Marlon Mack's coming back. Wentz, he's on a team now that has actual talent to work with. The Eagles gave him nothing. For a guy that kept getting hurt and needed he needed some help. He got, the back, the neck, the knee, everything. He kept getting hurt. He needed some help out there, and they didn't give it to him. All their offensive linemen were getting old. I don't know how Jason Peters is still playing. I feel like this guy's been playing since we were born.
Yeah. Besser said Wentz is dog water. He just had a auto typo, whatever. But
obviously the last couple of years he was terrible. He should have been benched way earlier last year, but he wasn't. If Wentz can complete a 10-yard pass this year, then Wentz, but Darnold has the best running back in the league.
Cap, that's just not true.
From what we've seen, McCaffrey is. Yes. In terms of,
I know Thomas is smirking behind his computer screen right now, typing like this. Because Danny, Ryan and I go back and forth about Saquon all the time. Because he just knows how much I love that guy and I support him. Like, I'll fight for him till the day I die. Honestly, if they try to trade him, no. They'll trade the rest of the team, and it can just be him 1 versus 11 on the field, and I'm fine.
McCaffrey's McCaffrey because from the moment he was drafted, the team used him the way he should be. Obviously, we've seen what's happened with Saquon and the Giants. Like, just if Saquon was on the Panthers and was used the way McCaffrey was used, he would have put up the exact same numbers and maybe even more. Obviously, everything's health permitting, but
I know they're both very good. Like, trust me, they're really good. And then you got Derrick Henry, who's just an absolute monster.
That's my kind of running back because I just like Jack Q hates playing me in Madden because I run the ball 35 times a game.
We haven't played Madden. Danny, Tom, and I haven't played Madden in a long time. And the few games we did play against each other, I was sick to my stomach, man.
I mean, running the ball 35 times makes me want to scream.
We still had 500 receiving yards with DeAndre Hopkins in the same game.
No, two different games.
Oh, it was.
So we played the first game. I was DeAndre Hopkins. Well, I was the Texans. I threw it to DeAndre Hopkins and only DeAndre Hopkins the entire game. He had like 15 catches for like 380 yards and 6 touchdowns. Then we played again, and I was the Seahawks, and I only ran the ball with Chris Carson. He was so pissed at me.
I'm sorry. I was just watching. I had the Mets on the other screen. I literally just P-Lonzo just made me love. But to the McCaffrey point, McCaffrey does stuff better than Saquon does. McCaffrey,
agreed.
He can Saquon at times he can help you in the pass game, but I feel like McCaffrey is a better pass blocker at times. Saquon definitely needs to improve on that. Both have been injured. We saw what Saquon could do in 2018. That was his rookie year. 2019, he had that high ankle sprain, but he looked better towards the last 2 games. In 2020, obviously, he tore his ACL. So I do believe Saquon could do something, but he's just under such he's just such under a brighter light because he was a 2nd overall pick. But even though, once again, I would not change that pick right now. I wouldn't. Sam Darnold, we still don't know what he has. Josh Rosen sucks. I wouldn't change that pick.
Imagine if they drafted Josh Rosen at 2. Like, just imagine.
Oh, God.
I would have cried, even though I did like him more than Sam Darnold. Not gonna lie.
No. Listen, I think Josh Rosen was one of the guys that I think a lot of like top of the line experts were just completely wrong on. He was called like the most NFL ready type of efficiency passer. That's not true. But and everyone and Q, when we did the show with The Entertainer, he made a great point. If we ever, because everyone's like, oh my God, they could have got Quentin Nelson. If we got Quentin Nelson wouldn't be Quentin Nelson. Quentin Nelson came to the Colts, who already had a good offensive line, and he just had to do his thing in the guard spot.
Fair.
Do you remember who was on our offensive line that year? By God, it would have been
not a lot of good people.
Exactly. So like who knows what kind of just like mental toll it would have took on that guy. But again, you only get a chance to draft a guy like Saquon so often in a lifetime, and we took the chance on him. Yeah. And I think it's gonna finally pay off. I think he'll finally be healthy. We'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't. And again, we talked about this too, Q and Danny. I'm sure you agree with me. We gotta stop going back 3-4 years ago and talking about regretting draft picks.
It's so stupid.
What are we doing here?
You can go back and regret the Eli Apple pick. No problem.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that too. But dude, even like in basketball, people still tell me today, they're like, yo, if we didn't get Frank Ntilikina, man, back in 2017, we'd be really, really good. First of all, everyone and their mother that didn't want Frank Ntilikina wanted Dennis Smith Jr. The Knicks had both of them. They were both terrible. So you lost that argument, and obviously the Knicks are good now. So anyway, but back to the Giants. I just hate fans like that, but that's why God made them, to make guys like us mad. Like he planted them here. Yep, Besser, you're right. Steelers are a shit show. They're a mess.
Danny, Ryan also said, "Let's go Mets." He's also a huge Mets fan, so he's probably watching the game as well.
Oh wow, other Mets fans exist in the world.
So let me get a score update on both games. How they doing?
Yanks are up 3-0. Cole had a million strikeouts. It was unbelievable.
They took him out already? All right.
Yeah, I can't see out of my glasses on. It's top of the 8th inning. It's 4-0 now.
The Mets are winning, but it smells like it got a blow. It's 2-1.
Uh-oh.
It smells like it. They're pulling Marcus Stroman, so now the fun begins.
Well, I know I know a lot of Met fans in typical Met fan fashion. Yankee fans would be the same way. I know everyone was calling out Frankie Lindor the other night when he went, what was it, 0 for 3?
Oh, yeah. No,
It's typical.
Yeah, and my favorite was just Glaber sucked, and then they're just clowning Lindor. It's like, come on, let's stop this, guys. My favorite is the Yankees fans saying Mets fans live rent free in their heads. We live rent free in theirs. It's miraculous.
1,000%.
I've never seen two terrible fan bases.
You guys want to hear a perfect explanation, and Clemens is gonna love this. So like, just we'll be sitting all together watching the game, and like something good will happen, like, to the Yankees. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even on alert for something like to get talked back to me. And Clemens will just turn around and look at me with that face that he always makes, and he'll go, Mets are better. And obviously it doesn't get me mad, obviously, but it just like it rattles my brain. And like that's like you said, just you guys can definitely just rattle our cages more than we can rattle yours, because you guys are, obviously I don't know how to properly phrase it. Like,
we're the little brother.
Right, exactly. So the Yankees are walking around like the blah, 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 and all the Mets have to do is just like poke them, and then boom, it's mayhem. God, I love baseball.
I like how this relationship doesn't exist with Giants and Jets. Like, Jets could say something. We just like look at them and be like, "Did you say something?" and just look away. Like, we don't care.
But that's the one. So like Yankees and Mets, I don't really mind. Like the Giants and Jets relationship like annoys me, because like it's like. Right, like Clemens is right. We don't care. But like with the Giants and the Jets, like it's just, it's I know the Yankees and Mets are in different leagues, but like the Giants and Jets, they only play each other once every 4 years. We never see. I know it's because we were both in New York and we share the same stadium, but like we're just doing two completely different things. Why can't we just leave each other alone? It drives me, because obviously this is my whole childhood. I'm from New York. I'm sure Q's in the same boat. Half my friends are Giants fans. Well, a third of my friends are Giants fans, a third are Jet fans, and the other half are Patriots fans. That's just the way our childhood has been for like our age group. And the Jet fans argue with us more than the Patriots fans do. It's crazy.
The argument the other day, Tom, how the Jets tweeted like "Thank you at Giants" for like when they drafted.
That was hilarious. That was awesome.
It's just like I look at it at one point and I was just like, all right, like everyone's just gonna start reposting this and stuff like that. Like I get it. I've never had anything against the Jets or any like fan. Like when they had Mark Sanchez and they made those 2 runs to the AFC Championship games
back to back years.
Like when I obviously as a Giants fan, but like they're a New York team and the Giants aren't in. Obviously I'm gonna support them, root for them. Like when the Mets made the World Series in 2015, I was rooting for them. Daniel Murphy. Whoa. See, you're just a cold-blooded fan. Like when Daniel Murphy got up, I was like, I can't wait to see this guy hit another home run here, and they did every time. So,
to be fair, when the Yankees lost last year to the Rays, the biggest smile came across my face.
Well, but like the Yankees are like a hateable team, though. That's a thing, though. Yeah,
it's completely mutual and it's all fun and games. I don't know. Just football.
I don't think this is happening.
That would be such mega brain by Bill Belichick.
He just did the same thing with Kyle Van Noy. He's back on the Patriots already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't even know why Miami cut him. Maybe his contract was just too big.
If such thing as a COVID-19 didn't decide to happen, he would still be a Miami Dolphin.
I think so too. Yeah, with the cutbacks and everything in the salary. But next year with this 17th game, I think a lot can change and stuff like that going into the new year. And
if that cap does arise, we're fucked. We are.
Yeah, I know. We're screwed. Dude, Danny, I don't know if you feel the same way, but me and Tom talked about it one day, and I was like, yo, like the cap, like where does this money come from? Like,
it goes over
just, like, win it like at a casino or something the night before? Like, where does this millions of dollars come from when at the beginning of free agency the Giants had dirt?
You manipulate those so-called salary cap experts. I don't know how they get paid. I don't know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. I mean, I read them and try and use them as my understanding, but I still don't know what the heck the cap is.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's like you think about it and you're just like, oh, like what's going on with this? Where does this money come from?
Well, it's clear the Eagles are still on the right because they have done nothing. They signed Joe Flacco.
Yeah, that was wild. Wild.
I mean, they were going to try to meet with the Dory Jackson, but obviously he didn't make the trip.
No.
The Eagles TikTok account made when they're like Joe Flacco's here, guys. They made it think like it was some huge sign. It's like Joe Flacco. He's done nothing for you.
Maybe that's foreshadowing. Maybe he'll be the starter this year.
That's the kind of stuff that bothers me. It's like when like all year, obviously I'm big on college basketball. When teams would lose by 35, they'd post like fought hard onto the next one. And then they post the final score. Why are you even posting? I understand people have jobs, or they're the social media managers for teams. Just be like, we stunk onto the net. Like we play again Friday. Watch if you want. like the Eagles, like red alert. We brought in Joe Flacco. No, but what? I would have, if I was an Eagles fan, I would have rather not known about it until like the first game of the year when I see him on the sidelines. I would be perfectly fine not knowing about it.
Is that Joe Flacco?
Yeah, I'd be like, yo, we got Joe Flacco. That's in that moment, I'd be like, yo, that's fire. But then when I see that the Philly, I'm not on TikTok, but if I saw that the Phillies Eagle account, TikTok account posted that they got Flacco, I'd be like, yippee. I don't know. I'm ruthless sometimes.
Yeah, you are pretty ruthless. I mean, I try to make some funny TikToks here and there, but then I sent one to Danny. I made something about the Super Bowl in 2007 when there was a big sack at the end of the game. And, oh, my God, I just got ripped into by Patriots fans whole time. It got some pretty good views and stuff like that. It ended up getting 19, 20,000 views, and they were just ripping on me. They're like, your team stinks. Barkley stinks. Daniel Jones busts. You stink, and you stink. And I was just like, geez. I was like, all right, well, they're the ones taking their time out of the day to answer all these comments and stuff like that. So,
but to bring this back, all this talk confirms the Giants are going to take an offensive guard at the 11th overall pick. That's what this whole conversation led to.
Yeah, listen, I know we've kind of been rambling for a little bit. I'm going to let you guys go because honestly, I got some Chipotle waiting for me from my roommate, so it's probably cold and soggy out there. But I didn't get dinner earlier. Yeah, but it's probably soggy. But I'm still gonna.
I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna have a double, triple deluxe bowl of Captain Crunch, and it's gonna be so good.
I had that crispy chicken sandwich, the spicy one from McDonald's. I was disappointed, not gonna lie. I was like,
it wasn't good at all.
It's just your average.
Have you had Chick-fil-A's, Popeyes, and KFC's? Have you had all of them, or have you had at least some of them?
I've never had Chick-fil-A's. Not around me, but I've had.
Yeah, I can see that.
So that's what I work with.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I wanted to try the McDonald's spicy chicken sandwich, but we'll see. But listen, like Danny said, guys, for the viewers still here, thanks for tuning in and stuff. It means a lot to us. Honestly, I'm pretty excited for the draft. I can't wait. I'm just I can't wait for it to be here because I have so much schoolwork these next 2-3 weeks that once it's over with. I mean, honestly, the semester is basically over at that point. April 29th, we just have finals the week after that, or whatever projects we have at that point. So, but like Danny said, I think it's got to be an offensive guard or an offensive tackle. Rashawn Slater plays both. He's a mix of both tackle and guard. So, Danny, I just want
to guard edge. We have guard edge, right?
Yeah.
Is that you're leaning, Tom? Guard, not guard, edge.
Yeah. If I was our boy Davey Gettles, I would probably go edge, but who cares what I think? So yeah, that's my prediction. Just I want offensive line because we need offensive line, but just one, switch it up, and two, it's kind of what I would love to see happen because I want to see when you look at our success the last couple of times, we had an absolute pass rusher on the side. We had a JPP going way back. We had a Justin Tuck. You know what I mean? We had one of those guys. So I'd love to see us get one of those again. We'll see what happens. Also, the draft's in 20 days. That's weird.
I know. It's kind of nuts. But I'm going to just say this last thing. Besser saying, Quiddy Payne, I don't know, man. I'm just not sold on him yet. I don't know. It's just
Michigan football was terrible last year. I don't want anyone from that team.
This is me. I got Rashawn Slater up here. Jalen Waddle, don't get me wrong, he's right here, and then Parsons, I think it's still at the same level. I wouldn't mind either of those three guys, but those are my.
But I mean, at the end of the day, we're gonna trade up and get Trevor Lawrence. So
yeah, I mean, I'm down.
I would lose my mind if that happened.
Can you imagine?
We might have to sell the franchise for it, but I'd be down for it.
We're live streaming the night of the draft, and it's just like, all right. And the Jaguars have traded the first pick to the New York Giants. That would be a weird scenario.
And it's all to take Penny Sewell.
Yeah, I'm down. I'd be okay with that.
I would love that too.
First overall.
Can you imagine the scene on Twitter?
No, I would delete it. I would delete the app.
Yeah.
It would be bad. But Danny,
All right.
what happened? Did they win or
Judge just hit a moonshot to left field?
Oh, did it go a home run? Moonshot. Hey, dude.
A moonshot to left field, and I'm celebrating like this. That's a home run, Q. Come on,
You should be screaming.
Baseball.
Yeah, I guess. I watched yesterday. I wanted to watch tonight, but I wanted to do this. But Danny, I appreciate you coming on, man. It means a lot to us.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna end this, guys. I think I just click end broadcast. It seems pretty fair, but if for the people that are watching, if they could just continue streaming, just text me and like, I don't know, I'll figure it out.
You just don't say anything controversial until that red thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, but all right, guys, enjoy your night. Danny, once again, bro, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Peace.